Does your mom know everything about everything?
Yeah, I mean, she's like a hairdresser and a therapist.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that kind of what hairdressers do?
Yeah, you basically
They talk and they listen, right?
they listen. I mean, when I'm in the chair with my hairdresser, I tell her like my entire life story.
What's your mom into? I mean, what's her passion?
I mean, she's always loved music. Like
Uh-huh.
she had a really amazing music collection as I grew up, and so that's where like I learned about Fleetwood Mac and Sheryl Crow. She has great taste.
So she's kind of into classic rock, Americana style stuff's kind of what she digs.
Yeah, yeah. And she loves everything.
Yeah.
But I definitely had a diverse musical background growing up because of my mom and dad.
You're obviously considered a country artist. You got your feet firmly into a career now that's kind of rocking. You're doing all kind of stuff, and you seem to have really kind of found just a thing which isn't that well defined.
Right.
You know, if that makes any sense. You know, you've kind of got some pretty broad parameters on what you can do and whatever like that. Do you feel any loyalty's the wrong word, but do you feel like you're a country artist necessarily, or are you just an artist trying to do whatever hits you at the time?
Well, I think my roots will always be country because I'm from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up listening to Waylon and Willie and Patsy. I really feel at home in country music.
Mm-hmm.
But for my personal career, like I've always looked up to people that blur the lines.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Emmylou Harris, Dolly, like that whole drama in the 70s about
Yeah.
Dolly going pop. She's like, I just want the world to know more about Dolly. Like, but everyone thought that she was defecting from country music. And it's like, no, I want to expand it. And then even like Vince Gill, like going out with the Eagles, Loretta Lynn, like 10 years ago or so when she did that record with Jack White. I think it's about staying true to your roots, but also not being bound by them either.
Yeah.
So I feel like I take on projects that inspire me to challenge myself, and you know, it's worked out so far.
Yeah.
So I just look at it like that. Like I want, like I toured South America this summer, and I felt like I got to bring my version of country music to that part of the world that doesn't get a ton of it. And
Where'd you play?
We did Santiago, Chile. We did Buenos Aires, Argentina. We did a Rio show and a Sao Paulo, and then we did 2 in Mexico City. So
Who are you playing with? How did that tour happen?
I was opening for this Irish musician, Niall Horan.
Yeah.
I actually performed with him at the CMAs last year because we have a song
Right.
together. But he was in One Direction. So he's got that sort of like global scope of his music. And so he's got fans everywhere. You know, we had the opportunity to open for him, and we did the States, and we did New Zealand and Australia, and then got to do this whole South America run. And all the like outlets I did interviews with down there, like Billboard Brazil, they were like, you know, the only country artists we've gotten down here are like Shania Twain and like Taylor Swift. So there wasn't like a ton that have done it down there, but I had the best time, and they loved, like they knew the words and they
Really?
did their homework. Even if they don't know what we're saying, like they were into the moment of it. So, and then the middle with Zedd, that was a worldwide sort of song. So
Yeah.
they knew that one too. But yeah, I feel like I want to bring my little version of country music everywhere.
Yeah.
That's why I tour so much. Like, and I especially put precedence on touring over in the UK and Ireland.
And I see you're going to Paris too, I think.
Yeah, next month.
So what are you doing in Paris?
So I didn't want to go an entire year without touring in the UK, just because like I really love my UK fans. So I was like, before the next album comes out, I want to come see you. So we're just gonna do like one show in London, and it's like a trio. So we're gonna do like a more acoustic trio set, stand up bass and all that.
Cool.
More of like just like a fan thing, not so much like like my label's not paying for it. Like I just wanted to go do it. And then while we were there, I was like, can we do Paris? Like I've just always wanted to play there. And so we just like got another date there. So
when you say you're like, we C2C, which is a big festival and, big stadium kind of thing, and I got to play that too. But when you say things around that, I'm always curious, and I know listeners are too, because there's a lot of people, getting started, and people have visions of what does that mean in Europe? Or are these like 200-seat listening rooms, or these 1,000-seat theaters, or these coffee houses where 50 people like the Bluebird Cafe? What are you doing actually when you're getting started over there?
I remember it was like a couple days after the London C2C show. I just did this club show at this place called the Borderline, and it was probably like a 300, 400 tops capacity club, but it was in the same week of C2C, so it was convenient. A lot of people have played there at the start of their careers. So, we were just told it was a really awesome club to play. So we just had a bunch of people come out to that. And then this past year when I did my headline tour, I was able to do like bigger venues, and we sold out Shepherd's Bush Empire, and that was so cool. And then
what is that?
The capacity?
What kind of place is it?
Oh, Shepherd's Bush.
Yeah.
It's more of like a theater, but it's standing room.
Okay.
It's probably like 1,500 capacity.
Like a Fillmore kind of club sort of
Yes.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we like sold it out, and I was just like, and that was before The Middle came out. So much has changed like this year with that. But yeah, like it's been on my bucket list to be able to do Royal Albert Hall. It's just like such a stunning venue, and so I'm
Iconic.
gonna be able to do that next year.
Just to get to say that.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
in Beatles songs and stuff.
I know, yeah. The Queen's Jubilee, yeah. And then I've really looked up to Casey Musgraves and the way that she's got such a presence over there. I mean, she just played Wembley Arena, and that's huge. Like to be able to play an arena over there, like you really have to lay the foundation for it over time. But she's earned it.
Absolutely. So working with Zedd, I mean, it's this heavy synth thing. It's really, I mean, it's really defined music to where I think your stuff are certainly, most country music is, we're kind of slinging it from the hip, it's kind of loose and cool and in that kind of way. His music is really, it's a different kind of thing. And even your vocal approach is a different kind of thing. But some of that could be, do you chase what he's doing? Does he chase what you're doing when you sing it? There's a million questions I could ask at once, so I'll let you answer them one at a time. What's it like working with him?
It's a really unique experience. I had never worked with anyone in the DJ or EDM world, and I didn't really know what I was expecting. I just knew when I heard the song, and there was the girl that wrote it, Sarah Aarons, she was the demo vocalist on it, and she and I have a very similar tone. Like we have some raspiness to our vocals. We do a lot of the same things, like instinctually. So I already heard myself in the song before I was a part of the project. But Zedd himself, like he's a classically trained pianist. He plays all these instruments. He's kind of a savant, but is this worldwide, like international DJ, and but has put out some of the biggest songs in the last few years. So he came to Nashville, and we recorded my main vocal for the song. And then a couple days later, he had edited and comped it and sent me the version. And I was like, whoa, this sounds so huge. Like what he does and what I do are very different, but somehow married together so well on this particular song. But I knew when I heard it, it was going to be huge. Like it just has that feeling when you hear it. Like after that verse and the chorus hits, like, baby, it just sticks in there. So it was really cool to be able to do that this year. And I feel like I've gained so many fans from all over the world because of that song that are now getting turned on to country. And that's very cool.
Neat. Is it, you think it's confusing at all to have a song like Rich, which is so fun and boppy and sassy? Boppy's the wrong word.
It's a bop.
But it kind of is. And then have something so muscular and iconic sounding like Middle at the same time.
It's crazy. I know initially some of us were nervous if I did do the song with Zedd, would it compete and maybe pull back Rich at radio? But honestly, like, it hasn't been an issue.
It's probably good that they're really so different.
Yeah. The thing that I've learned about my fans is that the reason that they align themselves with what I'm saying or singing is the fact that I haven't watered it down. And I think that's refreshing to them. And they, I guess, like, I'm sort of considered this role model. Like, I got this letter a couple months ago from an artist I love, Brandi Carlisle. And she sent me this like handwritten letter with her vinyl of her album. And it was just saying, I have 2 daughters and they're really young, but thank you for being a woman in country music that they can grow up looking up to. And I was like, wow. I mean, I don't know if she lets them hear that song, but.
Or if she knows how tall you are.
Yeah. They won't be looking up long. They'll be, yeah. No,
that's really cool.
It's really cool.
Well, good for you. We'll keep up the good work. Good to see you.
You too, as always.
Hang in there. Don't wear out.